everybody.
Hello.
My cat just knocked something over. Excellent. What a way to start it. Welcome to the post show.
You don't have to acknowledge it.
Huh?
Just don't acknowledge it.
Don't acknowledge what?
Welcome to the post show where we talk about the movie we watched this week.
We talk about the Anime Club movie. You guys should know what Anime Club is by now, unless DC really wants to talk about it again.
We've talked about it. They know what Anime Club is. If you're here, you definitely know what Anime Club is.
And we watched
Welcome to the Space Show. Which
is... I cannot even look anything up on my computer because I'm on my phone at the moment because my internet is crapped out.
I want to say one thing about Welcome to the Space Show. The synopsis that they give for it is Welcome to the Space Show, whose story surpasses Star Wars in its scale, according to its producers. Which I have to state, wow, producers, not correct. I mean, I guess technically, but everything surpasses Star Wars in its scale once it goes past a galaxy.
I mean, and it's 2010. Don't step on my quotes.
Release date February 18th, 2010.
And the script is by Hideyuki Kurata.
Hideyuki Kurata.
And honestly, it's you know what? Let's just summarize it before we start picking apart.
Production company is A1 Pictures.
That was Vega, the rude kitty.
Distributed by Aniplex Inc.
It starts out with a group of 5 kids, and they're going for like this little camping trip because
summer
they didn't
school.
because they didn't, and they're just all going together.
It's not really explained why they're in summer school. They're in summer school.
Their age range is widely varied. I think the youngest is 7, and the oldest is what? How old is the boy? Do you remember?
It never says. None of their ages are mentioned except for the youngest one at 7. You get that one of the kids is a 2nd grader.
Oh, a 6th grader. Kiyoshi Sato is a 6th grader.
That's not mentioned.
So there you go. It's mentioned their grades. Their grades are mentioned.
But also, the weird thing is that it really seems to imply that these are the only kids at this school or something is very weird. There's a lot of unanswered questions.
Look, plot armor. These 5 kids are going on a camping trip.
That's not plot armor.
It's at the school, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Yeah. I don't understand what it is.
I don't know.
It's summer school is what they state specifically. It's summer school.
And you see their families, and all their families seem nice, and they're all friendly, and they all go, and it's sweet, and it's fun.
And they start out you're ignoring an important setup between 2 of the characters.
Go ahead.
Which are the 2 female cousins that one of the girls wants to be a hero, so all of her room is like covered in hero stuff, and they seem to have a rivalry against each other, the girl and the young cousin, the 7-year-old, because they have to do the morning exercises, which is a popular thing, where they have exercise programs that they listen to on the radio, and they had a whole thing where they were like, oh, you're late, and she's like, I got up late, and it's like, well, didn't you forget we had a challenge to see who could wake up first? And that's set up
between Amane and Natsuki as the 2 characters.
That sets up their thing, because when they go to the school, I think it's Amane wants to ride her own bike, but they make her ride Natsuki's bike, and she's upset about it. And that's important.
She still has training wheels.
Yeah, but that's a very
honestly,
important plot point.
Like, my 5-year-old doesn't even have training wheels anymore, so I don't know what's going on with that, really.
I don't know either. I wasn't using training wheels at 7, so... But that's a very, very important plot point, is that clearly these 2 characters, there's animosity and tension between them, and that's when they get to the school, and you find out one of those reasons is because Natsuki released the school pet Pionkichi,
yeah.
Pionkichi, which is a bunny, and everyone needs a bunny. I told you this earlier in the cast. Everyone needs a bunny.
This is our second plot bunny of the day.
Yes.
But Pionkichi, that's how it said it in the dub anyway. I watched it dubbed.
Yes.
They also implied in the dub that the bunny was more Amane's rabbit than it was the school. I mean, yes, it was the school's bunny, but Amane, like, it was her.
She loved that
bunny.
rabbit.
She loved that rabbit, and you find out that Natsuki's was Durpin, and that's how the
she
bunny
wanted
even got away.
Every hero needs a mascot, so she wanted to teach the bunny to high five and do backflips.
Pretty much.
Which
and
I do want to mention one thing. I tried very hard to find a sub for this, and most of the subs, they just like the subtitles were just crap. Like they didn't subtitle everything, or they just
Which
like
is weird.
didn't work. And I pretty much could readily find dubs everywhere for this. I found it on Amazon Prime. I found it on YouTube. I found it everywhere, the dub available. So it's very odd that this one, like, unlike all of the other movies we've watched where the sub has been readily available in all these same places, that the dub hasn't been.
Mm-hmm.
Or the dub is the only one that was available and the sub for this one wasn't. It's very odd.
Well, it was actually, like, as far as dubs go, it was a decent dub. I didn't find myself rolling my eyes or anything. Did you watch the dub?
Yeah, I had to. I was forced to this time. Which I have to say, I didn't care for the voices in this dub compared to the Japanese voices. But I did try to see if like the subtitles pretty much matched the dub, and in this one they did. The sub and the dub were pretty much the same.
Well, that's
in fact,
good. That's good to hear.
Even strangely, later on, this happens in like the 30-minute mark, but we'll get to it. But strangely later on, when Amane says that her dream is to be president, even though Japan doesn't have a president, Japan has a prime minister.
It's fine.
No, I'm just saying that strangely, that's just the line, even in the Japanese.
Oh, that's funny. Like, she's 7, though. Like,
yeah, the line is she wants to be president, not prime minister. Yeah,
it's adorable.
Very,
though.
very weird.
But anyway, our 5 characters, we have Natsuki, Amane, Kiyoshi, Noriko, Koji, and they're all sitting in the classroom trying to study, and they're just not. And they're like, let's just go have fun.
So they're like, yeah, we're only day 1. Let's go look for Pyeonkichi.
So they all go out and
to look for Pyeonkichi.
Mind you, by themselves. And mind you, at some point, what was the boy's name? Koji? The little boy that loves space, he was like literally telling his parents, like, no, don't come check on us. And he's like the same age as Amane, or around the same age, so like 7 to 8 years old. Don't come check on us, parents. We'll be fine.
It's Japan, and they live in a tiny ass village that the main character's grandpa makes, which apparently is a very important plot point. Wasabi. He grows wasabi.
Yes, he does.
And
it's very good wasabi, apparently. But anyway,
it's the best.
So they go out looking for Pyeonkichi, and they look. They're going up a hill, and they look over this field below, and there's a crop circle in it. So of course, children have to go investigate.
The kid Koji, who's all about that UFO, is like, we gotta go take a picture in a crop circle. Do. And
so
then
they all go down there.
And then Amane and Natsuki run off to go search their own way.
And then Amane like looks through the bushes and sees something.
It's not bushes. I don't know what that was supposed to be.
Whatever the plant
It wasn't corn. I don't know what it was.
No, it wasn't. Maybe it was sugar cane. I don't know.
It didn't look like that either. I don't know
whatever the plants were.
Bamboo? I don't know.
Possibly. While the other kids are investigating the crop circle, Mane crouches down and looks
she's
through.
Like Pyeonkichi, because she sees something. She's like, Pyeonkichi.
They run over there, and it's not Pyeonkichi. It's a dog, and the dog is badly wounded.
Very
badly wounded. Take the dog back, and they bandage and patch him up. Which apparently these children are veterinarians as well.
And they play baseball.
You know, we kind of forgot the whole beginning of the movie, where there was like aliens fighting each other, but you know, it was not. It was glossed over in such a way that you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, it really didn't. One was a boar.
Yeah, there was like a boar and like this big-eyed, one-eyed monster, and then like this dude made out of like orange light. But anyway,
that was fighting them.
So they take the dog back to school, patch him up, and then they're out like playing baseball.
Like baseball.
Yeah.
And Natsuki hits a big, lob.
Home run.
She's gonna get a home run, and the dog wakes up, jumps out, grabs the ball. You're out.
Yep. But then the dog puts the ball in its mouth, stands up on its hind legs.
He starts walking like he walks like a dog, and then he slowly gets up onto his hind legs. And then he's like, "Thank you for saving me."
Exactly.
And everyone
and
freaks
you find out the dog is an alien. And his name is Poochie. Poochie Rickman, to be precise. And so, first off, none of the kids believe him. And then the one girl, what was her name? Kiyoshi? Was that?
Noriko? The one that
Noriko,
passes
yes.
out?
I have a character list. I have my phone
Kiyoshi's
propped
the
up
guy.
on like 2 cups, so it's at the right height. And so it's blocking the center of my screen. So if you see me leaning to try to read something on my computer screen, you'll have to understand that. But so she kind of like faints and freaks out. But after everybody calms down, they're all sitting on like this jungle gym.
Now, I wanna point out, this is very important, that the name of the dog is Pochi Rickman.
I did say that.
No, we said his name was Pochi, but his name is Pochi Rickman.
I said Pochi Rickman too.
It's very weird.
DC,
but Pochi, I have been
Linda.
listening. Pochi,
Linda, listen.
Pochi
Linda.
reveals himself to be an alien that's come to Earth to study plants.
And then he's like, "Well, look, I'm not supposed to talk to you because I'm just here studying a plant.
So,
I was not actually supposed to interact with you guys at all. It's against rules because you're not
like,
spacefaring yet."
Yeah, and he's like, "But hey, tell you what, I'll do you a favor. You guys
he's like,
got a
"What
wish.
do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?" And somebody asked for something, and he's like, "Well, I can't do that." What was it? I think Amane asked for something. Oh, she wanted her bunny back. Not he asked for Pyeongkichi back.
Can we
like,
get Pyeongkichi
sorry,
back?
I have no idea where your bunny is.
Yeah, I can't do that for you. And then it's Koji that's like, "Oh, well, can you give a school trip to Kyoshi because they canceled it? They canceled the school trip this year."
So they didn't get a school trip, and he's like, "Well, where do you want to go?" And he's like, "As far away as possible. Why not?"
And he's like, "All right, I'll take you to the furthest your people have been, to the moon."
So they go in his spaceship, which looks like your standard circular.
They go in a bubble to the spaceship, because that was weird. I don't want to ignore that fact.
A bubble that, and it
Science
takes a jungle gym too. It just
Science
cuts it
bubble.
off.
Yeah,
and then they go up to your standard
space.
UFO rotating circular thing spaceship,
which he reveals is a taxi.
Yes, and then
can
from
I make
there,
one thing that annoyed me throughout this entire series.
What?
It seriously annoyed me that everything was space. This is a space taxi. We're going to go have a space taxi. We have to go to space immigration. Did you eat your space burger? How about some space cola and space fries? And I was like, we get it. You're in space.
And then instead of taking them directly,
couldn't you have called it the Galacto Burger or the Cosmic Shake or something? No, space fries.
Yeah, but it's also for kids. Like my kids literally, because they watched this with me. They called it the space movie, the space animate movie, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's fair.
That's what it is.
But instead of taking him directly to the moon, he takes him to some sort of space station.
No, they go to the moon. But he says, "I'm going to show you the true moon." And on the dark side of the moon is this giant space station with tons of water and everything.
Remember, I'm not allowed to take notes on the movies anymore.
That's where they go, and they have to go through space immigration.
Yeah, space immigration. And did you notice how space immigration did not, minor plot point for the future, but they did not check any of the kids' bags or what they were bringing in?
No, because they don't care. It's space, whatever.
Even though Earthlings, as Pochi literally said, that they're not even supposed to interact with Earthlings.
I know.
But no, it's fine. That's fine. Bring him on in. Give him some space McDonald's. It's cool.
Did you notice, though, that the robot changed its personality based on the age of the person it was dealing with?
Yes,
because
they
first
had to
the
do
robot
a little test.
Yeah, at first the robot was very robot for the immigration thing, and then she's like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "I'm Amane. I'm 7." And then it was like, "Oh, greetings, Amane-chan."
Yes, and
And
it made Amane feel comfortable, which I guess you would kind of need because if
what
you
would
were with
what would
all
it
these
do to
different
us?
species.
Like, how would it treat us? Is what I'm wondering. As adults, you know, in an older generation, it's like, how old are you? I'm
Well,
this old, and it's just like, yo, what up?
what up,
Fucking,
my G's?
what the fuck
You
would you
about to enter
do?
the space station, so you're
What
gonna
would
have to
you do?
pass an immigration test.
What would you do if an alien was all like, yo, I can give you intelligence and I can like make you grow? Which, by the way, yeah, the question was there's one question. It's a very important test, but if you fail it, you have to wait in the Lost Children's Center until your race develops intergalactic space travel, which basically is a death sentence. Not gonna lie.
Sorry, now it won't unmute. There it goes. Sorry, the door is open, so I have
So,
people like
yeah,
out there going, "Are you done
but
yet?" And I'm like, "No,
ba-
no, it's just because it's hot in here."
but
Anyway,
basically, yeah, if you don't answer the
so
question
they give
right,
him Space McDonald's, which hold the
no,
phone.
where are you going with you're way past where we need to be.
I know, but I had something I wanted to mention
No,
about
I
Space
want to talk
McDonald's.
about the quiz. We can talk about Space McDonald's because it happens next. But the
Okay,
quiz is
do
very
your
important
quiz.
because the quiz is asked in a way of if an alien suddenly appeared on your planet and appeared to you and told you, I can give you knowledge and technology that will allow you to be better and be stronger and go into space, what would you say to the alien? And Amane made a very important point of saying, I would say no thank you because I would want to do it myself.
Exactly.
And they're like,
Like the humans should be able to
pause.
do it themselves.
Yeah, it's like pause, dramatic pause. That's right, Amane-chan. That's the right answer. And I was like,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, technically you're correct. That would be the right answer. Just because if you suddenly like went from the technology we have right now to enter like faster than light travel, that would mess up humanity. That would mess up a civilization. You can't shift that quick. I
Can
mean,
you imagine the wars that would start and just
well, let's not
like
to
we've
get too
already
into
have
it,
enough
but
strife on our planet
yeah,
just for the space race alone.
yeah, not to get too into it, but just the older generation and now already has a hard time keeping up with like smartphones and things like that. You know, like
Yeah,
grandmothers and grandfathers have a hard time keeping up with that. Can you imagine going from smartphones to 3D light generated holograms?
that they would be shooketh. Yeah.
You and I would be confused beyond reproach. We'd be like, what? I don't understand kids these days with the 3D hologram and the
And the
space tech
TikTok.
and their TikTok and their faster than light travel. Back in my day, light speed was as quick as you could go,
Yeah.
and you
And
liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had to travel light. We had to travel light speed 7,000 years in one direction to reach our nearest neighbor's star, and we liked it.
And it was the middle of, space winter.
It was the middle of space winter, and you had to
Uphill
travel
the whole
uphill
way.
past black holes.
The whole way past black holes, fighting gravity.
Back and forth, black holes everywhere. You never knew when you were gonna die. Grandpa, you literally had aliens just grant you everything. Shut up! You're only
But
in your 30s.
anyway,
Go
can
away.
I talk about Space McDonald's yet?
Yeah, because that's the next thing that happens is they go to Space
So they get
McDonald's.
Space McDonald's, and somehow the food is
Space
universal.
McDonald's. I gotta state, Space McDonald's with the ladies in space G-strings.
Yeah.
What's up with that
But-
uniform?
But, the uniform's one thing, but my thing is, why do they have burgers in space? Like, is
I don't
burger a
know.
universal food source that we've somehow...
I get.
Is it
Cake
like,
is.
if you've ever heard or read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxies series,
Yeah.
there's a gin and tonic, which is universal through all of the galaxies. There's always a beverage called gin and tonic, whether it be lukewarm tap water or like a fancy, I don't remember the exact phrasing, like a fancy drink made out of the highest quality alcohols.
But
and
it's
stuff
not as
like
good
that.
as the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Well, yeah, but still. And it's just funny because it's like in every universe, in every reality, there is a gin and tonic. In every language, there is a gin and tonic in some form, shape, or form somehow. But anyway, the burgers and fries and everything, that's just weird. It's
Yeah,
weird.
space fries and the space burger and the space cola, which tasted like regular cola, and the response was, "I guess cola's the same everywhere."
Which okay,
But
bypassing space McDonald's.
later
Moving
on,
on.
Pochi's mom made space cake, and so
Yes.
cake is universal, so everything else is. But they went to Space McDonald's and they had whatever the space bucks were called, and which is another important point because Kiyoshi gives them a math test because he's like, "How much does a children's movie ticket cost?" And he's like, "It costs this many space bucks." And they're like, "All right, if that's how much it costs in space bucks, how much is one whatever to $1?"
And they figure out it's like 1 1/3 or something like that.
1.83333 repeating.
There you go, almost 2. 1.8333.
Yeah, $1.83.
So then, correct my horrible memory. After that, they see this video of the space show.
The space show,
which is hosted by like a 3-tentacled red and black octopus dude. And I gotta say,
armed thing.
Out of all the characters that I saw in the background or in the show, all the different types of species, he looked the weirdest.
Yeah, he looked weirder than 6-arm-headed octopus lady.
Yes, he did, and I don't know why
her arms came out of her head.
Maybe it was just he had very simple animation style. Think of Mike Wazowski, but instead of 2 arms and 2 legs, he just had 3 appendages. Period. Red and black with one big eye.
That could be arms or legs, depending.
Yeah, appendages.
Yeah.
And he was a host, and they had this cool little bright, colory, flashy intro, and then you see like this
which
really
did not
pretty.
fit the song that was playing at all.
No. You really pretty dog lady, similar to Pochi species.
And they're like, "Pochi, do you know her?" And he's like, "We come from the same planet."
Yeah, and notice how tall she was. She was like at least 6 feet tall.
Did you notice when they actually went to Pochi's planet, how that seemed to be a common trait between the males and the females? Was like the females were
much
tall
taller
and
than the
had
males.
boobs, and the males just looked like dogs.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a weird dynamic.
Females were definitely more anthropomorphized, and the males were very, very dog-like.
There were some anthropomorphic males, I noticed.
I don't know.
They were in the background, but they existed.
Like, Pochi definitely looks like a terrier.
Yeah, it's also really weird
that
Pochi
like
Pochi doesn't wear clothes.
But anyway...
Oh, we skipped one important fact about Natsuki.
We did.
By the way. She likes butts of animals. She's constantly looking at animal butts.
She like, when she first saw Pochi and he started talking, she, like, lifted his tail. Woo! It looks like a regular dog's butthole. Like, who does that? And
I don't know.
Certifiably, Pochi freaked out because who does that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of Pochi's fault for walking around naked. I mean, we saw his race. They are clothed.
His dad was also naked too when we do, but we're skipping ahead.
No, his dad was clothed. His dad wore clothes.
His dad?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. No. Everyone on his planet wore clothes, but when he walked around naked, everyone was cool with it. Maybe
Pochi's just a nudist. But anyway, the reason why they go to Pochi's planet. Let's get to that.
Well, it's because they after they
he's supposed
have
to
their
just
little...
take them home after that.
Yeah, after they have their space McDonald's, he's like, "I got to go make a report. Here's $20 because I did the math. It's about $20 is what he gave him. He's like, go have fun with it. I'll be back."
Yeah.
And he goes to make his report.
This is a gigantic, like, almost like a mall kind of space station here. How did he find all those kids?
One half of the moon, so yeah.
Huh?
It's the entirety of one half of the moon, so it's massive. But he goes and makes his report, and they immediately shut off all routes to Earth. And that's an important plot point,
of the fact
because the villains show up trying to get back to Earth, and then it's
you forgot to mention. Hold on, you forgot to mention that those villains we saw. His report was the fact that those villains were on the planet because there's like some rare plant there that everybody in space wants that's extinct everywhere else. That's called Zugon.
Yeah, Zugon.
Zugon, and it's some special plant. And you know, honestly, if I was in one of the kids' shoes, I'd be like, "What plant is it?" Like, obviously, it's called Zucon for you guys, but we don't know what it is. What does it look like? What's it used
what's Zugon
for?
look like? Well, they don't care. They're in space. What do they care?
So anyway, the planet shut down. So,
yeah, and the kids go on their little spend money thing.
yeah,
And
get
then
space souvenirs apparently.
Poji, a space souvenir. Poji shows up and he's like, "Hey, I can't get you guys back to Earth. All the routes are closed." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "But there's another way. If we go to my home planet, we can take a ship to Earth because only routes are closed from the moon, I guess." Which is weird.
That made no sense whatsoever.
I don't know. And they're just like, "Oh, well, how long will that take?" And he's like, "Ah, just about 20 years."
Yeah, and they're like, no. So
well, there's a faster way if we take the Hyper Express. It's like, but that's a lot of money. But don't worry, kids, I'll get the money somehow.
So they and he decides he's gonna bet, and everyone instead gets jobs.
He calls his dad first to
That's
try
right.
and get.
I'm trying to.
He calls his. We don't have to worry about time right now. But he calls his dad.
Well,
we don't have to worry about time.
Daddy said we need to push it along.
That's why I'm trying to get the important reason as to why he went to gambling. Was he called his dad? His dad said, "I'm not going to give you them." He just literally hung up on him when he was like, "I need 100,000 space bucks," and then hangs up on him, and he's like, "All right, I got a plan." Well, he's like, "We just got to pick a winner." And I'm like, when did Pochi turn into a weird middle-aged gambling guy?
But anyway, obviously the kids are like, yeah, no, we're all gonna get jobs. So they all get jobs.
Yeah, so they get jobs and fail, and main character, she destroys a building because of course she does.
Yeah, and so she has to pay that back. Like, Natsuki gets a job as like a courier. Anime gets a job as like a babysitter. What did Kiyoshi do?
Kiyoshi was literally a courier. He's just a different kind of courier. He moved packages. And Koji got a job working at some weird, like,
a mechanic shop.
It's more like a junk shop. I don't know what they did.
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
mean, he meets the daughter Ink, and pretty much they fall in love. I mean, come on, let's be honest here.
It's adorable.
That's important plot point.
She's got, like, what are they call them squid something or other, the species.
Yeah, but she's called Ink. Which for some reason, she uses her hair as hands, but her dad doesn't. I don't know.
I'm thinking that's weird. A gender thing for that species. That was the only thing I could think of. Like the females have.
But I want to state that was like the cutest little romance ever.
It was.
That was an adorable romance between those two, and I loved it. And my God, that was adorable. So eventually, like, Natsuki loses her job, and she tries to open up a snack that's like wasabi flavored snacks, and one of the little like wasabi balls flies off and goes into this one dude's mouth, and he's like, "Zugon!"
Yeah,
well,
never mind.
Yeah. Well, this because it's not. I already said she destroyed a building and got fired.
Yeah.
But
we just did not talk about one character. What did Noriko do?
Nothing. She eventually got a job as the with Kiyoshi. She wanted to be a model, but she decided she couldn't do it because she's only a 4th grader. So
yeah, that's fair, honestly. But anyway, she's trying to open these snack little they're like Cheeto balls, but they're wasabi.
Zugon.
And some random dude tastes it, freak out that it's Zugon.
And then people just start being like, "We'll give you whatever you want. Take it.
She makes
give us Zugon."
An absolute crap ton of money.
Yeah, they go back and they're like, "Oh, we made about 100 space bucks," and she's like, "All I got were these," and they're like, "Oh, great job, Natsuki." And Pochi's like, "Those are commemorative coins worth. There's over $100 and some odd $1,000 here."
Yeah, so we find out that she made plenty of money for them to do that,
and by selling Zugon on the black market.
And she also says, "Well, I didn't get rid of all of it. I have this one." And it's like literally 2 raw wasabi roots.
And then 3. There was 3 raw wasabi roots.
Oh, three. And then Poochie freaks out. He's like, "That's Zugon!"
And then
yeah.
But they end
up hide it, don't get caught.
Yeah. They end up getting able to get onto the space train and go to Pochi's planet, and like the space train is this weird living creature that shifts around. I don't know. It was really creepy, and I hated it. I hated everything about it, but they meet up with good old Space Cat because I am trying to go. I like Space Cat, whose job
more like a gerbil or a hamster because
he was a cat.
He was a good guy all the way around.
Space Cat's
job was
is selling information on. He sells information on the space show.
he was kind of like a blogger, I guess you could call him, for the space
Pretty
show, but he
much,
sold
yeah.
information on it. Then they
There's
get there. Like, I mean, they buy snacks and they have some cutesies, but they get to Poochie's planet, and
yeah.
Poochie goes and sets it all up. They're gonna get
They
on
find
the
out
thing.
They find out Poochie's a professor.
Yes,
which,
that's true.
the professor
They
naked.
find out he's a
naked
professor,
dog.
and then the swine and the one-eyed dude tries to take her bag with the Zugon in it while he's trying to get tickets for the fast travel space thing, which
But
is
they stop
also
him.
another living transport.
Pochi
but we'll get to
reveals that he's the glowing orange man
Yes.
and
Can
arrests
I just
them.
say that bus driver was just like best character of the show, because Pochi's like running, chasing after the dudes in the car, and this random little tram driver, Professor, do you need a ride? And he's like, yeah, and they all jump in the little tram and they're chasing him down, and he's like, can you ram him? He's like, of course. And
Yeah, anything for you, Professor.
and they get back the Zugon, and then it's fine. They all go to Poochie's house, and
They
she
go to
makes
Poochie's
space
house,
cake.
They
And
get cake.
She washes. Yes, she washes the
And,
kids' clothes, and it's a cute little domestic
Yeah, it's very
evening.
nice. This is where Kyoshi like decides he wants to be a doctor because Pochi's dad uses plant therapy to heal people. It was very weird.
Yeah,
and
the patients and stuff, and he helps them out, and it's cute.
the mom teaches the girls how to make cake
And
all
there's a
this other
minor
stuff.
subplot that we haven't really brought up, but it slowly goes throughout the movie. Is that
Amane and
Natsuki?
Natsuki.
Yes, they have
Well,
this tension between them about the bunny, and Natsuki's like,
that's why I stated in the beginning that they don't get along, and that it was a very important plot point.
well,
Is that
you know
they
the
don't
reason?
get along?
You know the reason though.
Yeah,
It's
which is
because
explained in this one. The
Pyeongkichi.
full reason. No, that's not the full reason.
But it's
The full
Pyeongkichi was the catalyst, the plot bunny.
No, he was not the catalyst. Remember, she stated that the reason she was mad is because when Natsuki used to visit, she was fun, but now she's super bossy and super demanding, and she's like, yeah, I'm upset about Pyeongkichi, but that's not the main thing. She was really mad that it wasn't like she wasn't how she used to be, and she was bossy and mean and rude, and like Pochi has a very important moment with Natsuki, whereas Amane has a very important moment with Kiyoshi, and that's when Amane explains why she's upset, and Pochi's like, so what's going on? She's like, well, I'm let her bunny go, and she's like, well, have you apologized? And she's like, yeah, I apologized a bunch. He's like, yeah, but did you know why you were apologizing?
Well, Natsuki also wants to just buy her a new bunny.
Yeah, and he's like, well, what if Amane went missing? Would it be all right if I said I'll just buy you a new kid? She's like, no, you can't just do that. And he's like, well, that's how it is with Pyeongkichi. And you gotta admit, Pochi's like laying down the logic here. He's laying down the wisdom.
Oh, and also during this time here at his parents' house, his dad has like this special analyzer machine.
Yeah, to analyze plants. Or whatever, I don't know.
And they put the wasabi in it, and he goes, "It's not exactly Zugon, but it's very, very close. It's very, very close. It's a similar species."
Yeah.
So he's like, I imagine it could be used just like Zugon,
like
pretty
Zugon.
much. So
there is one important plot point that we did miss with the kid, Koji and Ink's dad. And Ink's dad was like, "Man, if I could find the pet star, which is like some weird." It's not really explained what it was. It's just like
it like hit Treasure Planet vibes for me, honestly.
That's what he was like. I would have enough money to build my thing, and he's building his own little rocket ship, which
like a lost civilization called Pet Star kind of thing. I don't know, but no one could find it. It's an old legend. But anyway, so all of a sudden, moving forward,
beams of light coming down as the two girls go to apologize to one another. And they have that little moment of like, oh no, wait, no, you, no, me, no, you, no, oh sorry, you go.
Exactly, and Amane gets kidnapped. They're after the wasabi, the Zugon, but Amane, they take the Zugon and they take Amane. That's
because Natsuki almost gets captured, but Kiyoshi saves the day, and then Amane gets captured instead.
Yeah.
Good job, Kiyoshi.
We don't know who did it. Who could it possibly be?
Oh, who could it be? And then like we get that. Pochi has his theories of who did it, and he doesn't explain it because they're all trying to decide what they're gonna do. And Pochi's like, "Well, your flight leaves day after tomorrow," and they're like, "Well, we gotta save Amane." And then it's really quickly goes from them being like, well, we got to save Amane, to Pochi helping them steal a spaceship. And they're just
Honestly,
like,
this is the point in the movie where it goes from normal speed going along to just top of the fucking roller coaster.
I
Excuse my
really
language.
feel like
Craziness.
so much should have been explained before this point, and a
I
lot of
literally had to
things.
go back and watch this whole part again because
Yeah,
just so much
you
happened
don't.
in
Yeah,
rapid succession. Like, they steal a spaceship. They
Yep.
find out that where the space show is going to be next because they.
Yeah.
It was the octopus dude. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna chase him down.
So they find out
And
because he suspects that the
they
space show
go
has
there,
something to do with it.
huh?
They go there, and it's at a festival where they're watching the
A supernova.
a supernova explosion. I was like, well, that doesn't sound horribly dangerous. Why are you here?
Which would
Why-
kill everybody close enough to see it, but you know.
Why-
And there's also
why-
like a parade with moving light things. I don't know.
I don't
we
know.
don't question
it was
this.
very weird. Everything
steal a
happens
spaceship, they
so
get
fast.
there.
They get there. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're
And then
working
it
with
goes
Cat
to
Dude
our-
and weird fishbowl information guy.
Yeah, dude.
He's
The fishbowl dude that
not
works
really
for the
like
Federation or whatever.
that Pochi
And
owes
then it
money
goes-
to. Pochi owes him
Okay,
money.
that's not even the weirdest part. The
He has a
weirdest
fish
part
in his
is-
head. Is the weirdest part.
No. Our octopus dude who has Amane and he has the wasabi and he's also like at something called the
Zuga.
Godhead
He's
and it's just like a face.
that's later though. That's
But they
that's
did
he's-
do a little
he-
no, they do a little thing of it because they make the behemoth,
yeah, they create the behemoth to fight
which
as
which
the-
they don't explain really what it came from. That's why I went back and watched it again because this stuff moved by so fast. You see
They
a
don't-
bat for like two scenes. There's a bat in a tube, and then later
Yeah.
you see this giant bat-like beast.
he's-
So
not a space
I
cat, though.
I imagine that's where it came from. But just
Yeah.
everything starts going to shit. They start the
Yeah.
space show, and it's
That's-
like the Iron Helmet or something like
Oh,
that.
the
He's
true
like,
identity of the Iron Helmet and all this other
he's
stuff.
gonna save the princess, and Amane's like in this.
Yeah,
thing.
and Natsuki's like, we gotta go to Amane, and they're like, well, how are we gonna get there? And then like the little kid's like, wait, Koji's like, wait, Ink's father completed his spaceship. We've got a spaceship, and so they take
Got a
Ink's
rocket,
father's
yeah.
Ink's father's rocket to go there, and like, I don't know what. It's so crazy because
It
there's
just
a
gets
behemoth,
crazy.
and they crash the
Mhm.
rocket into the behemoth and take
Which
it down.
is a fire-breathing bat thing with like sting
Plant-
or hammerhead
three-
shark eyes. I don't.
And a plant body. I don't know. It's really weird.
So
And
and the bad dude. What was his name? The bad dude. What was
I don't
his name?
remember, but I'm a little disappointed in the dub versus the sub. Because in the sub, he has a really cool
Nepo, Neppo, Nepo.
He has a very cool in the sub. He has a very cool like alienish robotic dark voice, and I'm like, ooh, that's awesome. And then in the dub, he just has like a normal voice, and I was like, wow, that's kind of sad and depressing that they changed that. Why would you change that?
Auto tune. I guess their auto tune was broken.
I don't know,
Any-
but it's really cool in the sub, and it's just like,
So,
whoa, get that.
All kinds.
space."
There's like two different fights going on. It's the henchman on the behemoth, which
Oh,
they
yeah,
can
no,
fly it.
that happens because Amane is captured by Dog Girl in her weird lip ship.
Look, I don't know.
understand.
Yeah,
Why
that
is
was
everything organic? I don't understand. It's weird. And
weird. I don't know,
creepy.
but anyway.
But
and
it's
then
important
It was,
to. It's revealed as Pochi is fighting Napo. What's his face? Leader of the space show thing, because he's fighting him because we used to be friends trope.
yeah,
The
I respected you. I looked up to you. But as I was saying, there's Pochi in his glowy
there's
armor
there's three fights going on.
versus Nepo, and then there's
The two boys
the rest
and
of everybody else with spaceship versus the behemoth.
and the three guys, and
Yeah.
then Natsuki trying to get Amane back from Dog Lady. So there's three things going on all at once, and you find out that the thing that they're on is the Pet Star, because
Yes.
I found the Pet Star. Do you know where it was? It was in
was
the
like-
dark, the nebula made entirely out of antimatter.
Yeah,
That
and
nebula.
he just happened to find it there. Like,
Yeah, literally
Okay.
just happened to find it. They were going through and they accidentally stumbled across it.
Yeah.
It was very
So-
odd, and I don't understand what the pet star was supposed to be. It's not really well explained, other than it was like supposed to be like a Noah's Ark thing.
As I
But
said, Treasure Planet vibes.
but it was a Noah's Ark thing. Like, I don't understand how this would have made you rich.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is
So
how this
pretty
would have made
much
you rich. It's
the-
been
the
missing for
god
5
face-
billion years.
The god face is like, I'm gonna turn. They're gonna. They pretty much find out that they're gonna turn Amane
robot,
into. Which
the
is like
robot
this,
that comes down from the god face.
is gonna turn Amane into with
Pochiji,
Pochichi,
Pokichi, whatever.
Pionkachi. There we
You
go.
find that he has the bunny. I don't know why.
What?
And he's
He
gonna
had the
turn her
bunny.
into a bunny lady.
And
He's
he
like, you're
sees,
gonna
like,
be
this
a
little
perfect
drawing.
life form.
So the second perfect life form is gonna be
don't-
a girl and a bunny. That gave me some Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood vibes.
I don't
Just,
understand why the pet star is doing this either. It's not explained. It just is doing
To
it.
make, because Nippo's like, I'm gonna be a new god, and
I don't get
know,
how
but-
he would be a god. Like, I don't understand the logic behind any of it. But apparently, it's powered by Zugon, which again, I don't understand.
is Wasabi.
But I don't
It's-
understand a lot of it. So
I don't understand either.
This-
There's a lot of stuff that goes on.
the,
So pretty much
fights-
all the battles wrap up.
Yeah. they defeat
Poochie
the
wins.
beast with the power of water because it lowers its
And
body temperature
the
and makes it
behemoths,
dissolve.
the kids win against the behemoths,
Yeah.
and then she gets Amane out. Like,
Yeah, because her friend Noriko charges Dog Lady and knocks her into the weird, creepy.
and then
butthole thing.
Natsuki fights the little robot, which kind of reminds me of Claptrap.
And they have this little moment of like, I was sad because when I came to visit, she didn't need me anymore, and I wanted her to be weak because that way I could feel strong. But now I realize that I am strong, and
Yeah.
the typical like empowerment moment, which I was
Yep.
just like, yeah, I don't.
Of course, it's gonna happen. Like, honestly, you'd be a little disappointed if it didn't.
Yeah.
But
They're like-
anyway, it happens, and everyone's happy, and yay, we got the child back, we got the Zugon back, and we defeated the bad guys, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then
And then
they
it's-
get back on. They get on the. This was all done in
It's-
one night, by the way, because the very next
Yeah.
morning
And
they
then
had to get
they
on
have
the fast transit, which is literally like a space
No, it's,
dragon.
no,
worm
no,
thing.
it's not even the next morning. They had 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, well,
because they
yeah,
had that
it took
little
all
celebration.
Night, though. Like, it took all
They had
night.
They had that celebration, and then they had the moment, the really nice, sweet moment between Koji and Ink, and like she hopes to see him again, and he wants to see her again, and they tear up,
Which
and
okay,
they shake hands,
yes.
which is
That
the
was
greatest,
cute.
the greatest romance in this entire series.
Yes,
was
and
that
I,
little
and I
moment,
honestly hope
because it was
when
well
Koji
developed.
and Ink grow up. They or even not even grow up, but I hope they do meet again.
Well,
So
I
that was
think that's
adorable.
like the implication with what happens like at the very end, where they discuss that he wants to be an astronaut. That's his new goal. His new goal's an astronaut, which you're like, I
you broke
see
up.
why. I think your end broke up. His new goal is to be an astronaut. That's what I said at the
Yes.
very end. But
Yes.
they have their goodbyes, and like everyone agrees to not use the space travel. Like everyone in the universe just agrees to not use space travel, so these kids can get home in their 30-minute time limit,
Yes,
and they have to travel
and
like 200
somehow they
million
get on
light
this
years.
living space worm teleporting warping creature.
No,
that's
no,
like,
they take the space jellyfish. The space
Yes, I
jellyfish
know.
they arrived in. That's how they get there. Not the space worm, the space jellyfish. Two very different creatures.
look, we've already been talking about this for like an hour, so
That's why I said just it's the space jellyfish that they get home in, and like all of the parents and stuff are showing up, and they're climbing into the window, and they're like, "What? Did you guys have fun? Why are you climbing into the window?" And they're like, "No reason."
yeah.
But let's not talk about the kid who now has an earring, and the other kids, the two guys that now have rings, and the girls that have necklaces. Let's not mention those that are glowing red.
Yeah, no, it's fine. That's their.
But they,
It's fine.
they
That
all-
was their commemoration of
Yeah,
their
they all-
camp.
but there was one creepy scene before they did get home, which was Pochi telling Amane, the 7-year-old, that when this is all said and done and everything's done, can he come visit her? And she's like, sure, I'll wait for you, and kisses him on the cheek, and he turns completely red. And I was like, well, that's not entirely creepy. That
Cringe,
that
cringe.
old
I don't
dog
care if he's
professor.
a dog.
Yeah,
He's a sentient being. Like, no.
yeah, that was
That's
creepy. Well, I mean, he did hit on her earlier on in the
a lot. He like complimented her. He's
yeah,
like, "You're the prettiest of them all," and all. I'm like,
yes,
"Look, she's 7."
this is
And
very
all the other
creepy.
characters like burst into the room, and they're like, no,
I get that you're
no."
the same size, but that's no. But anyways,
Itchy
they all
eyeball.
go off and like Koji's like, I want to be an astronaut, and Noriko's brother is like, oh look, the out the window, sis, and she's like, it's just a UFO.
Yeah.
And then like Amane and Natsuki are like asleep in the back, and they're friendly now. And then Kiyoshi's like, Mom, I think I'm gonna be a doctor. And she's like, I always knew you would be.
Aw, cute,
And I was
happy ending for all.
happy ending for everybody, and then the
And
very
honestly,
very end of it, yeah.
I enjoyed the movie.
I was gonna say the very very end of it was the two girls on the bike together, being friendly and going off to school for a reunion. And I was like, ooh, are we gonna get the end of credits? No,
No, nothing after
no,
credits.
no.
But I
there's
enjoyed
no.
the movie. It was cute.
It was
As I said,
okay.
it would have done a lot better, honestly, as a series. Honestly, it would have. I think they
Yeah,
just shoved so much. They crammed it in there.
it was.
They shoved so many things. They wanted to be like, oh, look at this, and look at this, and look at this, and
Yeah,
look at
it
this.
was.
And this is another one that has those I want to be a Ghibli movie vibes, really.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, my first thought was like, this wants to be a Ghibli film, and it was better at it than A Whisker Away. It was better
a
at
lot
being
better
a
at it.
Ghibli film than A Whisker Away was. But
And
at the
honestly,
same
my
time,
kids really enjoyed this one. It was not bad. I'd watch it again. But
I felt like we could have cut out a lot of the space filler and focused more on the plot development with the whole Zugon and the space show and the pet star.
and yeah, what exactly was a pet star? What the hell was the
that
god
was
thing?
rushed. Yeah,
That
that was
thing
like
was creepy.
so
I
much
did
of that
not
was
like.
rushed. We
Yeah.
spent an entire movie before we got to that point, which I was like,
Yeah, I mean,
just
the
pick
movie
one or
ran
the
for
other
2
movie.
hours and 16 minutes. It was long.
It's like, dude, pick one or the other movie. Do you want to be a weird space adventure movie, or do you want to be a movie about weird
Siblings and well, there weren't siblings, but like family
yeah,
and
family and
bonds
things
and
like it would have been
growing up because Natsuki was growing up.
without the Zugon and the space show, it would have been just as interesting.
Was what?
Without the Zugon and the space show and that whole final fight and everything, it would have been just as interesting as a character piece.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
that
I
like
the supernatural elements. It just shoved way too much time.
yeah,
Way too much stuff into that one little
yeah.
time frame.
The problem is you're trying to do two plots in one, and
Mm-hmm.
you have your A plot and your B plot, but they tried to make their A plot, which is the kids need to get home, but then they have their B plot, which is the space show thing, and they try to make their B plot more important than the A plot, is what it felt like. And I'm like, look, the B plot is like a side thing. You don't base your ending around the B plot.
Sorry, one of my children is like, "Why are you still in here, mother?"
But then they had to wrap up that B plot quick.
Yeah, like they started pushing that B plot too hard, too late, too hard.
Yeah, too late is the main thing. Too late.
Yeah.
They should have pushed that earlier, way earlier.
Honestly, not an awful movie though. Definitely not the worst I've ever seen.
Like Yojak said, he thought I wouldn't like this movie, and I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think the movie it was okay. I don't know. I don't know. It was okay. I didn't hate it. I was able to watch it fine, but I don't know if I'd watch it again. And that's sort of how I felt about last week's movie. But last week's movie, I was more confused than anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of would watch it again. Maybe. I don't know. And this one, I'm like, I don't know. I'd have to be in the mood. Like, the mood would have to strike me to watch it again.
Yeah.
But that's like, it goes back to the anime as a feeling thing. Like, you get in a certain mood where you want a certain genre a certain
Yeah.
like feeling. And welcome to the space show. I don't know when I'm gonna get the desire to watch that again. That's a very yeah.
I would definitely, it would be one of the ones I could put on in the background while I'm trying to do something else.
I think it'd be different if I did have kids, like you have kids, you know.
I do, yeah. It's mainly because my children enjoy it. They're gonna want to watch it again, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's very different when you don't have kids and you're just like.
It's easy for them to watch and enjoy, even when it gets crazy. It's still bright and colorful enough and peppy enough that they can. So yeah.
Well, hopefully they like next week's movie then. Hopefully they like next week's movie then.
They like everything. They're weird, but anyway, I think that's gonna about wrap up post show for this time.
That'll be it for the post show. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for donating.
Thank you for being our Patreon, because if you're watching this, you're our Patreon. Thank you. We appreciate it.
We know we went long with this one, but it was a very long movie.
It was.
And there was a lot to discuss. It's really hard to like. This is a hard movie to bullet point, like, because so much happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some things where you can bullet point it easy. Like you could talk about.
It was similar to that
events,
one war movie that just so much happened. What was that one?
Yeah, the one with the Tanukis.
I don't remember the name of that movie, but
I don't remember either. I'm bad with names.
Yes, thank you. In this corner of the world, there's a lot that happened in that movie too.
Yeah, a lot happens. It's just things where this is one of those things where like, and a lot of them are very important to the plot because they tie into key events later. And so it's crazy how much happens in this movie that you have to tie into the events because it's a domino effect. It happens because this, and this. And we skipped over a ton that we did.
So if you want to watch that movie, look it up. If you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, why are you watching us talk about it? Because we spoiled the whole movie. So
because some people like me like to go in and they like to know what they're getting into before they get into it. You don't want to waste your time with a movie you wouldn't like.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm one of those people that just goes in raw. I know nothing about this movie when I watched it until after I watched it. And I felt like I almost knew less after watching, just because it was so all over the place. But anyway,
take care of yourselves.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Bye.